So yesterday we were reading the chapter A Visit to Cambridge. We have started the reading of that chapter. From that we have come to know that there were two main characters in the story. The first one is Stephen Hawking and next one is we have Firdaus Khan. They both were disabled person, physically disabled. So they both got a chance to meet each other. So when they got a chance to meet each other, how did they interact with each other? Okay, because this story tells us about the meeting of a two disabled person. Okay, and both were not normal, you can say, because they were blessed with a talent. Okay, Stephen Hawking, we all know that he is a very much famous scientist. Okay, and he was suffering from a paralysis. That's why he has to take a help of wheelchair. Okay, and whenever he wants to say something, he has to take the help of a computer. Okay, and on the other hand, Firdaus Kanga, he was a famous writer and journalist. Okay, and he belonged to which city? Mumbai. Okay, and he was having which kind of problem? The problem of brittle bone. Okay, so he moves around here and there on a wheelchair. Okay, so he meets Hawking in England. Okay, so when they had a meeting with each other, listen carefully. When they had a meeting with each other, so after that long discussion, okay, they were thinking about normal people, so-called normal people as we people are, okay, how we look at disabled people. What is our mentality? What is our viewpoint when we look at such kind of disabled people? Okay, so the writer Firdaus, he was on a walking tour, okay, and he went to UK, okay. So his guide told him about this thing that Stephen Hawking, he was occupying Newton's chair. Newton's, who is Newton? He is also a scientist, okay. But now Hawking, what was his condition? He has become disabled, okay, and he has written a book, A Brief History of Time, and that book became bestseller. It means that book became so famous and this book was sold in the market like hot cakes. Okay, so afterwards we have come to know that Firdaus, he gave a phone call to Hawking, okay, and he was from India and he wanted to meet and he wanted to write about his travels in Britain. Okay, so Hawking, what was his desire? What was his reply? Yes, he was very much agreed to see him and he said that he would be seeing him after half an hour. Okay, so the thought of meeting somebody on a wheelchair, this really gave Firdaus a courage because he was also disabled. So when such kind of thought came in his mind that he was about to meet a person who is on wheelchair, so it really gave him a lots of courage. Both of the personalities were disabled. Their bodies were disintegrating. Okay, Hawking was always having a little switch in his hand. Okay, and now he was able to move his finger using that switch. Okay, and whenever he wanted to say something, he wanted to speak with the help of computer. Okay, and by the time he was feeling so much tired also, he was feeling exhausted also because of this way of speaking, that whenever he wanted to express something, he had to move his finger on the computer. Okay, but there was a surprising thing that his mind was always bubbling with thoughts. He was very much brilliant. He was brilliant. His mind was bubbling with lots of thoughts. Okay, So after that, we come to know about next, about them when they met with each other, what kind of conversation they were having. So let's read about that. Karanya, you come and read further. Afterward, I will be explaining to you. Bache, if you are not interested, you can go out. No problem. Yes.
Surely, I wanted to say living creatively with the reality of his disintegrating body was a choice, but I kept quiet because I felt guilty every time I spoke to him, forcing him to respond. There he was tapping at the little switch in his hand, trying to find the words on his computer with the only bit of movement left to him, his long pale fingers. Every so often his eyes would shut in frustrated exhaustion, and sitting opposite him, I could feel his anguish, the mind buoyant with thoughts that came out in frozen phrases and sentences, stiff as corpses. A lot of people seem to think that disabled people are chronically unhappy. I said, I know that it's not true myself. Are you often laughing inside? About 3 minutes later, he responded, I find it amusing when people patronize me, and do you know it annoying when someone like me comes and disturbs you in your work? The answer flashed, yes. Then he smiled his one way smile, and I knew without being sentimental or silly that I was looking at one of the most beautiful men in the world. A first glimpse of him is shocking because he is like a still photograph, as if all those pictures of him in a magazines and newspapers have turned three-dimensional. Then you see the head twisted sideways into a slump, the torso shrunk inside the pale blue shirt, the wasted legs. You look at his legs, which can speak still, and they are saying something huge and urgent. It is hard to tell what, but you are shaken because you have seen something you never thought could have been before you could be seen. Before you like a lantern whose walls are worn so thin you glimpse only the light inside is the incandescence of a man. The body, almost irrelevant, exists only like a case made of shadows, so that I, no believer in eternal souls, know that this is what each of us is, everything else an accessory. What do you think is the best thing about being disabled? I had asked him earlier. I don't think there is anything good about being disabled. I think I said you do discover how much kindness there is in the world. Yes, he said it was a disadvantage of his voice synthesizer that it could convey no inflection, no shades or tone, and I could not tell how enthusiastically he agreed with him. He agreed with me. Every time I shifted in my chair or turned my wrist to watch the time, I wanted to make every one of our 30 minutes count. I felt a huge relief and exhilaration in the possibilities of my body. How little it mattered then that I would never walk or even stand. I told him how he had been an inspiration beyond Laiche for me and surely for others. Did that thought help him? No, he said, and I thought how foolish I was to ask. When your body is a claustrophobic room and the walls are growing narrower day by day, it does not do much good to know that there are people outside smiling with admiration to see you breathing still. Is there any advice you can give disabled people, something that might help make life better? They should concentrate on what they are good at. I think things like the Disabled Olympics are a waste of time. I know that what you mean. I remember the days I had spent trying to play a Spanish guitar considerably larger than I was, and how gleefully I had unstringed it one night. The half hour was up. I think I have annoyed you enough. I was grinning. Thank you for stay. I waited. I waited. Have some tea. I can show you the garden. The garden was as big as a park, but Stephen Hawking was covered every inch, rumbling along in his motorized wheelchair while I dodged to keep out of the way. He could not talk very much. The sun made him silent, the letters on his key disappearing in the glare. An hour later, we were ready to leave. I did not know what to do. I could not kiss him or cry. I touched his shoulder and wheeled out into the summer evening. I looked back and I knew he was waving, though he was not. Watching him, an embodiment of my bravest self, the one I was moving towards, the one I had believed for so many years. Alone, I knew that my journey was over for now.
So very beautiful chapter is read by Thoradea. Now I'm going to explain these paragraphs. So all of you listen it very, very carefully. See, what were the remarks given by Firdaus? Firdaus have given remarks that that people always consider that the disabled people are always unhappy. What do you think? What is your opinion? The disabled people are always unhappy. They are not happy with their life. So Hawking said that it was a really amusing attitude. Okay. So he admitted that he felt annoyed and another disabled person came and disturbed him in his work. Isn't it annoyed that he was already a disabled person and another person who came to meet him, he was also disabled person. Okay. So the body in that case it was just like a box for the brilliant mind and soul. It means a person was brilliant, but it was only a box. Okay. So he did not see anything good about being disabled. So what is the gist of that paragraph? That he doesn't think about the good of disabled person. Okay. So when he was looking at the poor condition of the scientist, so Firdaus really felt relief. Okay. See, he couldn't talk. Sorry, he couldn't walk. He couldn't even stand. Okay. So Hawking did not like the idea of being disabled in Olympics also. Okay. Because what was his mentality? He thought it was only a waste of time. Okay. So his advice was that the disabled person should concentrate only on that thing, only on that talent which they possess. Whatever the talent they have, they should work only on this. It doesn't mean that they should go in Olympics, etc., and they should only mere wastage of time. So that should not be done. Okay. So after that, what was the result? That Firdaus, he also spent near about 1 hour instead of how much time? Because that appointment was for half an hour. So he spent near about 1 hour on him, and they have tea also. He saw his garden also. Okay. And he went about in his which kind of wheelchair? Yes, very good. He went in his motorized wheelchair. Okay. And finally, what kind of time come? The time came when they had to depart. Okay. So Firdaus got up to take leave of him. Okay. He could neither kiss Hawking nor cry. So such kind of gesture he couldn't show. He couldn't kiss him, he couldn't cry, but he was convinced after looking at the condition of that person that the paralytic scientist, the person who is a scientist and who is suffering with paralysis problem, he is also a brave kind of personality. He is an epitome of bravery. He is having an attitude of bravery. So he was impressed to see that kind of personality. So that was the benefit of their meeting. Okay, bache? Now let's do comprehension check part. Cambridge was my metaphor for England to the writer. So what is the exact meaning of this line that Cambridge was my metaphor for England? What is the meaning of this line? These three MCQs are also given to you. So Cambridge was my metaphor for England. Yes, Cambridge was, England was famous for it. Why England was so famous? Because Cambridge was situated at that place. So that's why what will be the right answer? Second option, England was famous for Cambridge. The writer found Stephen Hawking's house. So from where did he make a phone call? From the nearest phone booth? From outside a phone booth? Or from inside a phone booth? Where it is given, in which paragraph it is given that he made a phone call from outside a phone booth? All of you start finding and tell me. Which line? Okay. Now let's move to question number 3. Listen carefully, beta. Third question we have is, listen, bache. Every time he spoke to the scientist, the writer felt guilty because. So every time when he was talking to Stephen Hawking, famous scientist, he was feeling guilty of it. Means he was feeling victim of what? That he was not sure what he wanted to ask that personality, or he forced the scientist to use his voice synthesizer, or he was to face with the legend. Yes. So what is the right answer? Yes, he forced the scientist to use his voice synthesizer. So that's why he was feeling guilty on such kind of event. I felt a huge relief in the possibilities of my body. In the given context, the highlighted words refer to shifting in the wheelchair, turning the wrist, standing up, walking, speaking, writing. Where this answer is given, first of all, tell me. I felt a huge relief. Yes. All of you find out this answer. Yes. So what will be the right answer? Shifting in the wheelchair, turning the wrist. So all of you check your answers. Now check your answers. We have discussed all. In online class, only Jasmine is there. Now listen. Question answers. Let's do discussion of question answers. बच्चे listen. Did the prospectus of meeting Stephen Hawking make the writer nervous? If so, why? See, when he was having a meeting with that personality, how was he feeling? Okay, you are saying curious. This answer will be there. Was he sure that he would be able to meet that personality? He was sure in the beginning. So pick up hints from there. He was feeling nervous. Why he was feeling nervous? Because he was not sure. He was feeling nervous because he was not sure. He was doubtful. He was not sure. Because he was thinking that that interview permission would be given or not. That he would get permission to meet, to conduct that interview. Yes or no? So he was confused regarding that. That's why he was nervous also. So all of you start framing this answer. I'm giving you 2 minutes for this. So who is going to tell me this answer? So who is going to tell me this answer? Huh? So yes. So writer was feeling nervous because he was very much doubtful whether he would be granted permission, whether he would be given permission to conduct that interview or not. He would be able to meet that personality or not. So at the same time, was he feeling excited or not? He was excited also. Why so? Because, and for how long this meeting was about to be conducted? For near about. So he would get a chance to interact with the personality for half an hour. So interaction will be made for half an hour, isn't it? So now you pick up all these hints and with the help of these hints, you frame your answer. Okay. Now next question, guess. Guess the first question put to the scientist by the writer. You guess about, make a guesses of that question. That could be asked by writer to scientist. Is this the right way to ask that are you happy being a disabled? Very nice. And another child who wants to try? You have to make a guess for this question, that what was the question which was asked by writer to the scientist. What could be the first question in that meeting? See, he was disabled in spite of all these hurdles and obstacles. He got name and fame. He was a famous scientist. So if any person is going to conduct his or her his interview, what could be the question? What could be the question for that? In this way, question will be asked. If you are given a chance to interact with a great scientist and that scientist is disabled, what would be the first question according to you? Yes, what inspired you to be successful in your life? Very good, Ishan. He has spoken so well. Any other? Any other? So you have to make a guess of, I'm not well, still I'm teaching you and you people are not listening. Some of the students are not serious. Now question number 3 we have, I have had no choice. Does the writer think that there was a choice? What was it? Tell me. What was another choice for him? To accept a reality and to live with that disability? You tell me. What do you think? What was another choice? You try to frame this answer. Now time is running out. We will be discussing these questions on Monday. By the time you prepare it well, find out the content from the book, add your viewpoints, and be prepared for the discussion of these question answers, which is to be done on Monday.